Okay, so we start the Seder with the Kiddush. That we can understand because that's the way we start every holiday and Shabbos meal, with the Kiddush. But what comes next are two steps that have all sorts of questions associated with them. Orchatz, we wash our hands, and Karpas, we recite a blessing and then we dip a vegetable into salt water. Why do we do this? And in fact, every aspect of this is questioned by our sages. Why do we wash our hands if we're only eating a vegetable? And why do we recite a blessing and then dip? Maybe we should first dip and recite the blessing. And what do we dip it into? Maimonides said charoset. Others, as we follow, say into salt water. And we're supposed to dip a green vegetable because it's the festival of spring. And yet we dip a potato. Why? Well, the potato one is easy. We really should be dipping a green vegetable. But our ancestors living in Eastern Europe, in Poland and in Russia, couldn't go to Whole Foods to get a green vegetable, so they had to use what they used, which was the potato. But why are we doing all of this dipping and dancing and blessing? Some say it is simply to evoke the interest of the children, to get them involved in asking questions. Others say that the word karpas, if you turn it around, is samach farech. Samach is 60, farech is rigor, that the 60 represents the 600,000 Arab Jews who were slaves and had to do rigorous work. But there's a very interesting explanation that I think has great relevance. There are commentators who associate karpas with the ketonet pasim, with the coat of many colors that the brothers dipped into blood to show their father that their brother Yosef had been killed. Rashi, on the words ketonet pasim, says kamo karpas, a certain fine silk. What is the association? Before we tell the whole story of our enslavement in Egypt, we first have to remind ourselves what got us into this pit to start 210 years of enslavement. It was all because brothers turned against each other. Our entire enslavement took place not simply because of the evilness of Pharaoh and the Egyptians, but because of the sinas chinam, the hatred that existed amongst brothers. We can all learn from that. And we can also learn that at the Seder, there are going to be members of our family there who we're not absolutely crazy about. Each one of us has a member of the family who can be described as being bitter herb. The Seder is not the time for revenge. The Seder is not the time for setting the record straight. The Seder is a time to be together as a family and experience our freedom and redemption. Chag Sameach.